So right now I'm working on putting a new head unit into my Cascadia here. The problem I've got going on is the owners before me messed around with the stereo before, and I can tell that this has all been rewired back here. But whenever I would turn the ignition off on the truck, my head unit would lose all of its, settings, basically, any presets, the time. And so what I've been trying to track down here is what pin corresponds to the constant 12 volt from the battery and what pin is just from the ignition, because for the keep alive to work on the head unit, it has to have that constant 12 volts from the battery. Otherwise, you'll lose everything when you turn the ignition off. But then it's got another wire that comes from the ignition that tells it, hey, the ignition's on, let's go ahead and send that power to the unit here. Here's the adapter harness that I've got going on. I had to, basically the connector that goes into the head unit was different, so I had to, basically take the other end here that plugs in up there, cut the wires, and then I soldered all the connections back in, and luckily everything matches up in terms of, the speakers being in the right position, because a couple of the colors weren't quite the same. Like there's a purple with a black stripe and a straight purple, and those ended up going to a straight black and a straight purple on this side. But anyway, so what I've got here is a power probe. This is a tool that I used to use when I worked on trucks, and they're awesome. Basically, you can plug it into the cigarette lighter, you can plug it into or hook it up to batteries. It comes with all kinds of extensions and adapters, and you can also, the cool thing about it is you can apply a ground and also apply voltage, when you're maybe testing lights or something like that. And it is fused, so if by chance like if I were to apply 12 volts to a ground, it would blow the fuse and not burn something up. But so right now the ignition is off on the truck, and I believe this side is all just speakers, so I'm probably not going to get anything out of there. Okay, but over here, did we get anything there? Nope. Okay, that's got voltage. That's constant 12 probably. This one right here, I was looking at it, but I have no idea what it is. That pin right there doesn't correspond to anything on my connector here, so I'm not sure what that's for. The only thing I can possibly think it could be is something to do with the dimmer. But as far as I know, I'm not going to worry about hooking that up to the dimmer anyway, because at night I have this thing set so low that you can't see it anyway. That's a ground, and that's a ground. So this was a constant 12 probably. I'm willing to bet that one of these is going to be our 12 volts from the ignition. So now, still got our constant 12 there. That's still a ground, and now that's hot. So that's our 12 volts from the battery, and that's our 12 volts from the ignition. Go over here, turn the ignition back off, and then check it one more time. 12 volts from the battery, and that's back to nothing. What I've been doing here is basically running this new head unit I got has a built-in satellite radio receiver, so I can get all my crap from my old one off the dash and really clean stuff up. But basically it actually wasn't too bad. You got to remove your handles for the brake valves off of here, then this panel comes out. Behind this guy, first you got to pop the Qualcomm off, and then I've got, the bracket had 4 screws I had to remove to get that out of the way. Once you do that, you just got 4 more there, and there to pull this piece, and then you can just fold this out. And then to get over here, you just remove the glove box. And so what I did is, behind here I've already closed this up obviously, but I've got a little some kind of little receiver that goes between the antenna and the head unit itself for the satellite radio. And then I'm just running behind there through the weather stripping and up, and then it's kind of running a little crease that goes all the way back to the cab, and then I'm going to zip tie it up to the Qualcomm wiring, and I've got the receiver sitting on the bracket in the very back there. But so once I get all this crap cleaned up and get everything back together, it should look pretty good because I can get all this stuff off my dash. I've got a couple more features of this head unit that I'll show that are pretty cool, you know, at least for me. So let me go ahead and I'm going to have to find something. Let me, where did I put that? Well, I'm losing stuff already here. Hang on. Alright, so here's the adapter. And so I need to switch some pins around. What I'm going to have to do is this right here should be the ignition 12 volt. This yellow wire should be the constant 12 straight from the battery, and so they're reversed on here. So I need to pull this one out and put it down here on the yellow, and pull the yellow one out and put it up here. Now you can't just pull these out from the back or you'll bend the pins. You got to find something like a real small screwdriver, or might even be able to do it with a stiff paper clip. And you stick it down in the top part. I know it's kind of tough to see. I can't really get a good angle. Here we go. You stick it down in the top part of this T and then push down on it while, you know, putting a little pressure on the pin, and that will pull it out to the back. So let me go find something to do that, and we'll swap the pins and see if that gets us going again. Alright, so here you can see I've pulled one of these pins out. Let me see, I need more hands here. But see how, let's see if I can get it in the light. It's got this little tab right there. There, now it's in focus. What I did is I just used one of these little tiny Allen wrenches. I made the perfect thing to stick down in there. So all I'm going to do is, this one came out of this third hole, so I'm going to swap those and we'll pick it back up. After you pull these guys out, you do need to bend this little tab up again, otherwise it let's see if I can get it to focus. It's trying. There it goes. You need to bend this little tab up again, otherwise it won't hold. You can, they're pretty soft. You can even just jam it under your fingernail a little bit and then bend it back up. Now we'll just pop them back in there. Alright, so now we've got the red and the yellow wire switched, and so we'll go ahead and hook everything back up and try it out. So, moment of truth here. It'll either work or we'll get some flames and smoke. Didn't hear any fuses blow. But got nothing coming on over here. That's not good. Did I? Oh, I see what the problem is. My pin slipped out. Alright, let me fix that again. Alright, so after my moment of mild panic there, we've got everything hooked back up. I apologize it's so dark. I've got all the lights on, but this little phone camera don't work too well. There we go. Cool. So now let me see if I wired up the satellite radio correctly. Should be able to Sirius XM. Cool. So let me go ahead and put the truck back together, and then we'll see what all this thing can do. Anyway, so let's take a look at what this head unit will do. It probably has a little more compatibility with an iPhone, but I hate Apple products, so yeah, that's not even an option. This is a Galaxy S3 that I have here, and it is rooted, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's really going to work that well. But for me, one of the big things that I've wanted is the ability to control the music through the head unit, because, you know, if I don't like a song, or I want to, you know, pick a different set of different playlists or something like that while I'm rolling down the road, and, you know, I'm sitting there, you know, trying to flick through my playlist like this as I'm going down the road, and DOT man sees the reflection of my phone in the windshield, he's not going to buy that I'm messing with music. You know, you're not supposed to be using the phone at all, period. So hopefully I can hook this up through Bluetooth, and we will be able to get things going here. So Bluetooth is on the phone, but I need to pull up some different settings here. Let's do system settings, Bluetooth, and yes, my GPS is named Bitches Don't Know About My GPS. For the first time, when I was coming back home from Virginia, somebody had their Kindle out and saw it when they were next to me and I was going down the road and tried to pair to it. I got a good laugh out of that. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. Alpine CD receiver. I was trying this earlier before I noticed all the power wires had to be switched. Okay, so let's see if I can pair to it. Pair no. Yes. Thinking about it. Okay, there we go. And I think the little battery icon must mean Alpine CD receiver wants to access your contacts and call history. Oh, I see. You can also use the phone. I was wondering what these are for. It came with this little case here. Let me open this up. It had what looks like a microphone in it. And I'm guessing, you know, if you want to talk on the phone, you could do it through that. But I don't talk on the phone while I'm driving, so I won't even worry about that. But anyway, so we are connected to it. Now, let's see. Let's go through our sources. Disk, USB, Bluetooth. There we go. Searching. Thinking. Maybe we're not going to get too far with this. It does still have the auxiliary input, obviously, but I was really hoping that I could do it through Bluetooth. Just see what it has if I hit play. Nothing. Okay, let's try this. If I open up, play music, gotta play the country songs here. Click on that. There we go. Now I bet it's working. The next thing would definitely be getting some better speakers for this. It's only got 4 speakers, 2 little guys in the doors, and 2 guys up top above the bunk there. But let's see if we can at least get sound a little bit. I usually turn the bass all the way up on these little speakers. Turn the mid up just a little bit, and travel up about like that. Now, let's see. If I press the next button, will it switch? Oh, that's cool. So you can go through your list of music here. I like this song right here. This is a good song. Yep. Oh, no, I'm hitting the wrong button. I hit source. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's go back to Bluetooth. Now what's odd is that it seems like it won't let me start playing music through just the controls on the radio. Oh, now it's going to my electronic playlist that's on there. Let's see. So I can pause it. Now I have no idea if I can do playlists or whatnot through this. Probably not. So what I would probably have to do is make a playlist on here of the songs that I want to listen to for the day or whatever. And then just cycle through that, because from what I could tell, once I started playing this playlist and started cycling through the songs, it was just going through this playlist, not the entire library on the phone. Now if I did want to listen to all the songs, then I could just open up my entire library. But let's see, if I go back here, start this playlist again, and let's see, I see this cycling through it. This is a good song. I like this one. But it doesn't look like it will show you much information on the screen. Now maybe with an iPod it would, or maybe with a better application for you know, managing your music it would. I really haven't looked at that at all. Shoot, it might have even come with a little app that it wants you to use to play your music through. But still, that's pretty cool. So now I can just, you know, set my phone somewhere, be going down the road. If I want to listen to something, can start the music and then just cycle through it on the phone. Now, let me find a different playlist here and see if it will work with that. Alright, so now I'm on a different playlist, and from what I can tell, yes, it does cycle through the playlist when you know, have your control through the head unit. So, you know, if I keep going here, yeah, see, it's playing all the songs just from this playlist, not the whole library. So that's at least pretty cool. You can, you know, just set up the music that you want to listen to, and then it's not going to jump all over the place. Now, the next thing I'll try is just going back to my full library and seeing if it will just go all the way through that. So now I'm just on, you know, just my full library, just all the songs, and I'll press the next button on there, and it'll go down through these songs on here, and then of course you can go back. But this is pretty cool. I mean, it's not perfect, but overall it'll make my life a lot easier, because all I got to do is you do have to open up the app. The head unit won't open up Google Play Music by itself, you know, as soon as it connects. Once you got that open, then you can set up either a playlist or just go to your full library, throw the phone in there like that, and then just go on down the road and completely be able to control your music through there. So that's pretty neat. So there you have it. It all works really well. You know, it's not perfect, but I have a feeling probably more of the features would work in terms of being able to see the song titles and going through different playlists and that kind of thing if you had an iPhone. But that won't ever happen with me, so I'm just gonna have to, I'll take what I can get. And it does work pretty well. Once you open up the Google Play Music app and either select a playlist or just go to your full library, then you know you can control all your songs right through the head unit there. It'll be just about the same process for any truck. You can get those adapters either online, or for like these Freightliner Cascadias, they're pretty common. I believe they use you can use a Volkswagen adapter. It wouldn't surprise me if the previous owner of this truck used one of those, because as you could tell, a couple of those pins I had to switch around myself. Now of course, if you got a company truck, talk with your company before you go tearing their stuff up. But if you got your own truck and you want to have a little nicer setup than what's in there, I think you know, doing something like this is a really good upgrade. The next thing I'm gonna have to do with my truck here is the speakers, because like I said, these just don't cut it. This is a 2010 Freightliner Cascadia with a 450/1650 Cummins ISX in it. It's got about 330,000 miles, got a 13-speed. I've been really happy with the truck so far. It pulls really nice. I did have to do some work on the EGR system. I had to replace several of the sensors and clean it up a bit, and I also had to replace the doser injector behind the turbo, because that was clogged up, and the DPF was all clogged up because it wasn't getting cleaned out. But once I got all that done, it's been running real good. So I'm just, you know, I'm taking it slow in terms of making changes to it. But something like this head unit is definitely, you know, especially when I'm driving for 10-11 hours a day, you know, being able to enjoy my music and that kind of thing is real big for me. And so it's, you know, a couple $100 for that is, I think, money well spent.